What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Clone Wars Chronological Rewatch. Today, we're talking about the third to last episode, titled Voices.
We're so close.
Yeah, and this is the one in this arc for me where things get really cool. I like the Lost one. That felt like the plot episode of, let's just real quick let the Jedi find out that the whole thing was a manipulation and that Dooku's Tyrannus, and they finally connect some dots. But in this one, like, things start getting weird.
Yeah.
And I really like it.
Things are getting kind of trippy, and Yoda is losing it a little bit.
Or is he?
Or that's what some of the Jedi think.
Yeah.
They're like, better have old man over here get his head checked.
Yeah. They're like, he's 900. I mean, like, let's get him in for some tests.
Yeah.
Let's put him in a tiny little medical bed and run some brain scans.
And the Jedi doctor lady was like, he's healthy as a horse.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong.
I really like you talking about how he is potentially losing his mind is perfect, because it is leading right into the theme of the episode, which is madness can sometimes be the path to truth. And I really like seeing the different ways all of the Jedi tackle this. First of all, I'm glad Yoda tells everyone. He doesn't keep him to himself. He's like, hey everyone, I'm hearing voices. Anyone else? Am I the only one?
Yeah, that's because he's wise.
Yeah.
To not keep something like that to himself.
And he probably knew the reaction that was coming, and not everyone, people like Ki-Adi-Mundi being like, oh, it's probably the Sith trying to trick you. And Obi-Wan is constantly like jumping in front of Yoda to save him from Ki-Adi-Mundi, like, how dare you?
What a white knight.
Yeah. Love you, Obi-Wan. But I really like the discussions that Yoda has with Anakin, actually, about how he's hearing the voices of Qui-Gon, of people he shouldn't be hearing the voices of. And Anakin's like, that's not possible. And Yoda says, as far as we know, but there's a lot of knowledge out there that we don't.
Yeah, and they actually have a little conversation about what happened on Mortis, which I loved hearing about, because that was such another just big weird thing that happened to Anakin. And, you know, the Jedi should talk about that stuff more often. You know, when it comes up, Anakin's like, oh, yeah, no, that was weird, and we're pretty sure it was just a trick or whatever.
It's wild to think what would have happened if all that happened, but not during the Clone Wars. And the Jedi had time to be like, let's investigate this mystical realm you went to that we thought was just a legend. And like, it would have been so cool.
Anakin leaves, and then like 30 other Jedi show up, and they're like basically on a tourist attraction. They're like, wow.
Although they'd show up and Anakin would be like, me and Ahsoka and Obi-Wan kind of sort of caused the deaths of 3 immortal beings.
Oops.
Yeah, oops. But I really love seeing Yoda acknowledge, like you said, he's wise. And he's wise enough to know that he doesn't know everything. There's like a bell curve graph of people who become experts in things. And it's like, as you learn more about a subject, you reach this point where you're like, I know everything there is to know. And then like you keep learning and you tip over and you're like, I don't know anything at all. And you go back down the opposite side. So Yoda's on the other side of that, where he's like, I'm 900 years old. I've been training Jedi for a long time, and I know enough to know that there's more out there.
So by that logic, pretty soon this channel is going to be garbage.
We've been garbage for a long time.
We've always been garbage. That's our secret.
But Ki-Adi-Mundi is like at the top of that graph. And that he's at the point where he thinks he knows everything with his 2 brains and his giant head, that he's like, it's impossible. There's no way that anyone could be talking to you from beyond the grave. It's clearly a Sith trick.
Yeah, this episode really shows just how stuck the Jedi are at this point in time.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Not all of them. Some of them, but enough of them. And then that leads to such a fun pairing. Like, we just got a comic, I think it was the Yoda issue number 7 or 8, where we saw Yoda and Anakin on a mission together. kind of towards the beginning of the Clone Wars. And I was like, man, that's such a fun pairing. Their banter was great. We don't get to see them interact enough. And then we watched this episode and I was like, perfect timing. Because I was just digging them as a team and having Yoda be like, Skywalker, come here. I need you to help me escape. Like,
Yeah.
that's so fun. The
kooky.
Grand Master of the Order being like, help me sneak out the window.
Yeah, and he's basically like, you're great at this stuff. That's
Yeah.
why I'm asking for your help.
Yeah, him talking about, like, it's just such fun encouragement for Anakin that I wish he got more of.
Mhm.
He's like, you're spontaneous, you're good at this. And he teases him about how, like, you know, defying the Jedi Council is what you're best at. Like, we all know you do it. But he doesn't say it in a mean way. He's like,
Yeah.
that's why I like you, Anakin.
Well, it's funny to think back to when Yoda was like, nah, he's too old. We can't do it. We can't train him. And now, yeah, he's poking fun at him. He's messing with him because he's turned out to be a very accomplished, smart Jedi that has a pretty drastic fall soon.
Yeah, but it's fun to see that Yoda still has kind of that High Republic attitude in him, even though none of that was set up by this point. But Yoda's not in this space where he thinks there's only one way to be a Jedi. Like, Anakin is a very different kind of Jedi than Ki-Adi-Mundi or Mace Windu, but Yoda still sees his value, and I really loved that little scene. And then they escape together, and Mace is like, what did you do? And Anakin's like, this wasn't my idea for once.
Yeah.
Super fun. But then we get to Dagobah. We get the whole Qui-Gon Jinn conversation, which I just love that Liam Neeson is down to come back and voice Qui-Gon every single time. Super fun.
Voice him, play him as a Force ghost. even though he was like telling everybody he wasn't, we know.
Oh yeah, come on, Liam.
We know.
By this point, no Star Wars fan believes anything a Star Wars actor says, because Ewan McGregor has been saying for years, like, oh, I'm just waiting on a phone call. Now, if any Star Wars actor says that, we're like, we know what you mean. You're about to be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
We know you're coming back. I need to ask Garrick Hagan.
Oh.
You gonna be playing Biggs again? He's like, I'm just waiting on a phone call. And I'll be like, yes.
What if he was supposed to be in Rogue Squadron?
Maybe. Maybe. Don't bring that up. Don't
I'm
make
sorry.
me sad.
You brought it up.
I didn't bring up
Biggs.
Rogue Squadron. Hopefully
Anyways,
it still happens.
Clone Wars.
Anyway, Yoda goes into the dark side cave, which was
He goes
great.
to Dagobah for the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Goes in the dark side cave.
Love that vision. And again, that kind of just thematically connects it with Mortis in a fun way.
Yeah. Yeah, it was similar to the vision that Anakin had.
Yeah.
Or the look of it.
Yeah, the look of it, I think the Mortis one looked more red and black and terrifying, but just the haziness of it, it's very cool. And that's kind of it. Like, Qui-Gon says, all right, next step is to go to the Wellspring of Life, so see you later.
He's like, you thought this was weird.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Wait until you meet who you're going to meet at the Wellspring, which I'm excited for. I love these last two episodes. And I love this episode too. It's back when we thought this was the end, it was a cool and weird end.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it wasn't the end. But that's it for this episode. So we'll be back soon to talk about the final 2 episodes. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel,
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
and consider checking out our Patreon page where we're releasing our final audio commentaries for these episodes as well. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.